اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وخاتم النبيين، حبيبنا وحبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الغرر الميامين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين وحجته على الخلائق أجمعين، سيدنا ومولانا وصاحب نعمتنا وولي عسرنا مهدي هذه الأمة وطاووس أهل الجنة الحجة بن الحسن العسكري فداه أرواح العالمين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم.
ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من يوم عداوتهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين المظلوم العطشان غريب بكربلاء. صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة يا باب نجاة الأمة ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المبين وقرآنه المجيد وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنك لعلى خلق عظيم. Peace and salawat on Rasulullah and the progeny of Rasulullah alayhim assalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. All the azadar of Imam Husain alayhi salam, Sayyid al-Shuhada, the Shuhada of Karbala, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is saying in the Quran in Surah Al-Qalam that verily we have given you sublime morality. Verily you have sublime morals. You have sublime character. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the one who created all of this universe, the heavens, the earth, and whatever is between them, and who has made insan, man, as the best of creation. He has given superiority to man over all of his creation. And amongst people, there are those chosen ones whom Allah has blessed with the most superior bounty of His, and that is the wilaya of Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam. All those who are currently listening to this majlis, especially my young sisters, the children, the teenagers, all of those who are listening, please remember this, that we have been blessed with the bounty of the wilaya of Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam, and it is only for a chosen few that Allah has favored with this bounty. It's only a chosen few. Not everyone has been favored with this bounty, and not everyone has been able to come to the door of Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam, because Allah Himself has said, "Innama yuridullahu liyudhiba ankum ar-rijsa ahlal bayt wa yutahhirakum tatheera." That is, Allah has chosen to purify you, Ahlul Bayt, and not let even rijs come to you. That means that Allah has very clearly told us that it is not the Ahlul Bayt who cannot go towards it, but whoever is najis, whoever is polluted, whoever has a dirty heart, whoever's heart is rusted, they will not be able to come near the Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam. So even if they wanted, but they had malicious intentions towards the Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam, they would not be able to reach the door of Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam. Moving on to the majlis, the era, since this is majlis is specifically for the young children, for my sisters, for my younger siblings, for the teenagers, the tweens who are all listening to this majlis. So let us focus a little bit on the era that we are living in. This era is one in which modernization is at its peak, and the experts who talk about all these things and who give these terminologies, they call this era as transmodernization. What does transmodernization mean? It means that we are living in an era where man and machine have combined together to reach the heights of success, to advance, to progress. And if you talk about this era, then there is a certain term which some of the older ones might be knowing, and it is often used by experts in the technical field or those who are in warfare and other areas. When it comes to foreign intelligence, it is known as PSYOPs. PSYOPs is actually two terms combined together, two words combined together. It's known as psychological operations. So in this age, we have these people, a group of individuals, a certain group everywhere. It's not just relegated to Western parts of the world or to certain very successful parts of the world where technology is at its peak or something like that. It's all over the world, globally. So everywhere in every country, you have a certain intelligence. And these people are in charge of duties such as conveying only select information to a group of individuals or to a certain individual or to a certain office, and they give these types of indicators to foreign audiences so that people are easily influenced by what they are giving us. Why this is done, why we do not have access to everything, this is so that they can influence people's emotions, people's sensitivities, people's motives, people's objectives, and people's reasoning, their decision making processes, their thoughts. So these people are focusing on that so that they may be able to influence our thoughts, our reasonings, our behavior, of how we conduct ourselves in our lives. For instance, let us look at the smartphone. So almost every one of us has a smartphone. Nowadays, you can find even children as young as 10, even children as young as 5, they have been given a smartphone. Now, what is the smartphone? The smartphone, it's a machine. So more than half of our daily work is conducted through this smartphone. Now, so many of us are listening through the smartphone. So many of us, actually, right now, I am on a smartphone and I am being broadcast to you through this smartphone of mine. So, this smartphone of ours is a machine which is conducting more than half of our daily processes. So, it's like more than half of our affairs are being done, or our functioning is dependent upon this smartphone. In order to connect with each other, in order to send messages to each other, this smartphone has become an indispensable part of our lives. Now, besides this, you see that there are so many apps within this smartphone. Some of them are fed, already pre-fed, and they are something that you cannot even uninstall. So it's like Google Maps. So Google Maps has become a part of our daily lives. And Google Maps is something that people do not know directions, people do not know how to navigate around places, and they use Google Maps to reach their destinations, to reach their manzil. Similarly, you have other remote control applications such that you can even open doors, close doors, lock doors, switch on your fans or lights, things that you need to do in the kitchen. If you need something to be taken out of the fridge, the refrigerator, so you have all these remote control applications. So we are becoming more and more dependent on the machines. And another interesting thing about this is you must have heard about how there are robots and there are androids. Now, I'm not talking about this android software that our phones run on, or our other devices like the tablets and other devices run on. I'm talking about the android. Every one of us knows what a robot is. What's a robot? It's a machine, but it has been programmed to obey you in certain things and to perform certain tasks. Now, a robot looks like a machine, but an android is actually a machine that is made to look like a human. And sometimes it is also made to recognize emotions of humans in order to be able to uh, sympathize with that person, or to have a cheerful manner in which it can respond to that person. So if a person is sad, then it will console that person, it will offer its condolences to that person. And if you are very happy, then it's going to maybe present you with options in which you can express that happiness. So sometimes it can also respond with emotions. And it can also take certain liberties when it comes to your emotions. That is, it can also talk about things which may hurt you or which may cheer you up. So it has even been programmed with emotions. And there is a third thing that is called the cyborg. I'll just let you know why I'm talking about all these things in just a few minutes. So there is the cyborg. What is cyborg? Cyborgs are actually living beings, living organisms who have been fed with some robotic or mechanical parts. Some robotic or mechanical parts have been added to extend their capabilities. All these things are slowly becoming realities in this world, where machines are now being used for most of the tasks and functions that we do in our daily lives, while the humans, man, is getting relegated. If we were unaware of how important these machines have become in our lives, this lockdown has taught us that. Those who were not technology savvy, those who were not very much interested in the world of internet and the world of the in the world wide web, in things that are internet related or technology related, those who did not know how to use their smartphones, their other gadgets, their devices. We have been taught during this lockdown how important it is that we keep up with the times and we keep up with these machines. So that is why you see that with your gadgets, almost every 5 years you need an update. The update keeps coming in, but at least every 5 years you'll have to throw away your old phone or your old device, the old laptop. You have to change it for another one so that it can be upgraded and it can keep up with the times. Otherwise, either it will slow down, it will have problems. You might have more memory getting hogged. It might start heating up and things like that. So now, what are cyborgs? I was talking about cyborgs. So cyborgs are actually even people. people like us, if you see someone who has some sort of a handicap, maybe their arm got cut off, or they were born that way, or maybe they had an accident. May Allah save us from all kinds of accidents in this world and keep us all safe, especially with this COVID pandemic around. May Allah keep the Imam of our time safe, and because of him, extend his blessings to all of us who are the lovers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, the azadar of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and keep us safe. So, if someone met with an accident and accidentally they lost a leg, so you see, they get artificial legs. And these artificial legs are supposed to extend their abilities, their capabilities. Similarly, if you've lost an arm, then that extends your abilities. People whose hearts stop functioning or hearts are diseased, that is some sickness, because of some sickness, and you have to remove that heart. They have pacemakers inserted within their bodies, and because of these pacemakers, they are kept alive. They are breathing because of these pacemakers. So this is not fully human, but a human who has some extensions, some artificial or mechanical parts. Now, this is not specific to humans. Cyborgs are not necessarily humans who have these artificial parts or mechanical parts attached to them, but it can be other beings as well, other living beings, okay, not non-living beings, but other living beings. Like you have insects, cyborg insects have been created, and chips have been inserted within them so that they can keep surveillance of a certain area or a certain individual or a certain group. So all these things have been invented. Now, the cyborg, all of these are being controlled by the software they have been fed, and these cyborgs have long been in existence. So it's not just now that these cyborgs have come into existence; they have long been in existence. It's just like robots, but androids are something that are still waiting to happen. So even though you have this human exterior, but inside they are machines, and they might not be fully capable of deciphering our emotions. And this is androids and all other domain of science fiction. Mostly you will either read this in science fiction stories, or you will see this developed into movies or other shows. For instance, if you want to know about robots, then I think a lot of children might have watched Wall-E. So Wall-E was a movie, and within that you had a robot named as Wall-E. And this is supposed to be the most advanced way in which someone has been able to feature a robot in a film. Now, if you want to talk about other robots, then there is the R2D2 in Star Wars, the Star Trek series, and then you have cyborgs like Luke Skywalker, or you have Darth Vader. So you have these cyborgs. They are actually men. They are humans, but they have these artificial parts or mechanical parts attached to them, or they keep on developing, and this way they come to be known as cyborgs. So they have extended abilities, like beyond what a human has. And then you have other robots, like in the movie Terminator or Transformers. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of these movies, but these are pretty well-known movies that have been appreciated for the advancement and the modern technology that has been used in these movies. The importance of machines in our lives today is that today we can work from home, and a person living in India can connect or work in US or Australia or Tanzania or any part of the world because of the modern technologies that we have, because of the improved communication that we have today. Now, machines in our lives, they have intruded in our lives in all sorts of ways, like games. So most of the children today are just playing video games, computer games, PlayStation, and PUBG, and all these sorts of things, and they are not having any sort of physical activity. So you're lacking in physical activity, but we are indulging in all these sorts of video games. Machines have invaded in our lives because our studies are being conducted online. Now, most of you are all are having online classrooms, online schools, where you're using this technology in order to be able to receive that education which your school is providing, your teachers are providing. And teachers are also using that in a similar way. Similarly, for entertainment and even for religious purposes, because today we have understood the importance of these machines. Now we are having all these majalis online, we are having mahfil online, we are having our Islamic religious classrooms online, we are uploading material online on YouTube and on other places, and thus we are giving education to the children and to the students and other people. So now the thing is that how do we make use of this? How do we make use of these advanced technologies? How do we make use of these machines that have invaded our lives and become so much a part of our lives that we cannot even function one day without our phones, without our machines? The thing is that if we do not focus on how much we have to use this machine and in what ways, then there are always people outside of Islam. There are always our opponents. There are always the mukhalifin, the people who want to somehow destroy Islam, to destroy the madhab of Tashayyu. We're always in this wait that we develop something and then engross the children in that and captivate them, fascinate them with things, and bring the children towards themselves. We know that today, because of these machines, human worth is keeping on decreasing, and machines are going to be ruling one day. However, the thing is that knowledge or information is not everything. What a machine can provide us is information. You cannot even call it knowledge, I think, because knowledge is something that is of a very great level. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say, "Ana madinatul ilmi wa aliyun babuha. فَمَنْ أَرَادَ الْمَدِينَةَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ فَلْيَأْتِهَا مِنْ بَابِهَا." That Rasulullah used to say, "I am the city of knowledge and Ali is its gate. And whoever wants to enter the city, then he has to enter through Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam." So what these machines are providing us, or what the technology is providing us, cannot necessarily be called knowledge. It is information, information at our fingertips. And there is a vast array of information. There is a lot of information that we have before us. And if we do not know how to distinguish between this information and what information to take and what to throw away, we will be misled. Knowledge or information in itself is not enough. If it was enough, then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would not have said, "Innama bu'ithu li'utimma makarim al-akhlaq." That Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that I have been sent so that I may lead people to the best of akhlaq, to the best of morals. Akhlaq is not just our external behavior. Akhlaq is not just how we behave with people in external ways, but akhlaq starts inside, it starts within. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala, when He talks about Rasulullah, then He says, "Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim." Surely you are having sublime morality, you are having the best of manners. And then Allah gives the purpose of sending the messengers to this earth, to us. What does he say? In Surah Al-Jum'ah, ayah number 2, we read, هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة. So what is Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala saying here? He's saying that He is the one, that is Allah is the one who has sent from amongst the people their Rasul, their messenger. What is this Rasul supposed to do? This Rasul is supposed to recite upon them his ayat, that is Allah's signs. He's supposed to let people know what Allah's signs are and to invite people towards those signs, make those people realize that yes, these are the signs of Allah, and to bring people towards Allah. Now, what else is his duty? The second duty which is mentioned in this ayah is وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ, and he purifies them. So purification, often we have heard of this term tazkiyatun nafs. That is purification of the self. The self is our soul. When you say I, you're referring to that soul. Because your body keeps on changing. All throughout your life, your body keeps on changing. You're not the same. At one point, we were just, maybe 1.5 feet, 1 feet. When we were born, we were just 1 feet. But then slowly we grew, we developed. And over the years, our cells, they keep on dividing, they keep on dying, and new cells keep on coming out. So the body keeps on changing. So when you are saying I, you're referring to your self, your soul. So the Rasul has come to purify the people, to purify people's souls from what? So that he can teach us how to behave, with parents, how to behave with our children, how to behave with our siblings, how to behave with our teachers, how to behave with our students, how to behave with the ulama, how to behave with the infallible Masumin alayhim salam, how to behave with Allah, how to behave with animals, how to behave with plants. So that is what he has come to teach us. Now, I had given you an example of the smartphone. Now, there are etiquettes to everything. Increasingly, we are seeing that I will not even talk about the children here, talking about adults sitting in majalis and having their smartphone on with various apps. They're checking out their various apps. They're checking out Instagram. They're checking out maybe Facebook if you have it. You're checking out WhatsApp and all these things while the majlis is going on. Now, Rasulullah came to purify us. He came to teach us certain etiquettes, adab, manners in which we behave. Whose majlis is going on? Is it about us? Is it about our friends? When we talk about a majlis, we are talking about Allah and the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. When we are going to prayer, are we allowed to just keep looking here and there? Are we allowed to just look into our phones, check out WhatsApp while we are praying? So there is a certain etiquette that we observe when we are praying. You're supposed to cover yourself. You're supposed to first go and do ablutions. You're first supposed to go and do wudu. Because you need to become pure for Allah. You need to become pure for the prayer. So when you do wudu after coming from wudu, then you have to adopt a certain direction. And you cannot just adopt any direction, especially for your wajib prayers. So which direction are we supposed to adopt? That also we have been told that you have to adopt the direction of the Qibla, the Kaaba, wherever it is. Look at your compass, whichever direction it points in, then you have to adopt that as the Kaaba, the Qibla. So after you have done that, then you're not supposed to be moving, making movements while during prayer. So these are all etiquettes. And after that, you know all the things about salah. How are we supposed to conduct our salah? So there are certain etiquettes, there is certain sequence, there is certain order in which we are supposed to behave. Similarly, a majlis also has certain etiquettes. A majlis also you're supposed to display certain manners, how we are supposed to be sitting in a majlis. When you come to majlis, then you must have heard so many dhakirin and dhakirat been telling us that you, before leaving for majlis, do wudu. In fact, we should be in wudu all the time because wudu purifies us. Because wudu lends us a state of purity. So internally also we feel okay. So we are pak, we are tahir because of the wudu that we have done. So we feel more attracted towards all these good things that we are supposed to do. So when you go to the majlis, then you sit in the majlis. Now we are okay in today's lockdown period when we having majlis online. You have again been told, we have all been told that when you want to listen to a majlis, then spread out the farsh adha. And after you have spread out the farsh of adha, then sit down on the farsh adha. Don't be sitting on your sofa, especially children. So, or the youth who are able to sit down on the farsh of adha, then you sit down on the farsh adha and listen to the speaker as you would have in a majlis. Don't be looking at your smartphones. Keep your devices away unless and until it is very important. Maybe you have a class or something to attend and the teacher is going to be messaging you regarding the link or the time or something like that. So because of that, you may have to leave. Okay, so that is a very valid excuse. But when you are sitting and you don't have anything else to do, you keep on checking your WhatsApp, scrolling through your feed, news feed, checking out Instagram, who has uploaded which picture of hers, how many filters have been applied to this picture. This world, as it gets more and more modernized, is trying to trap you. All these machines, the media, as I told you, psyops is going on. This is the psychological warfare is going on. Psychological operations are going on so that they can trap you. All these filters that are being provided to you on all these different apps, like especially the youngsters, I know that they are very much addicted to Instagram. So on Instagram, what, or Snapchat, all these places, what do? You just keep on uploading your pictures or your videos or something like that, and then you go through so many numerous filters and you keep on uploading that. So the thing is that these people recognize, and why do you keep on doing this? Because you've seen someone else do it. It's not that you just started doing that on your own. You went to YouTube, maybe there was a muhajjaba and she was trying to show you the styling of the hijab. And she shows you so many different styles for her while her whole face is caked in makeup. And she's trying to tell you, okay, this is the way you're going to look good. So she keeps on telling you, you are not enough, you are not looking good enough. You have to make yourself, you have to style yourself in a certain way in order to look good. See, there is no harm in styling yourself in a certain way or in adopting a certain fashion, as long as it is within the boundaries of Islam. But if you start getting addicted to it so much, you see so many incidents of celebrities, all these people who actually take 8 hours just to get that one photo right, one picture right. They have to keep on posing this way and that way, and they have to go on a diet and things like that, and then they keep on posing in this manner, and then they post their pictures, and you think, oh wow, she looks so beautiful, she looks so pretty in that picture, and she's so pretty. And actually, when you go to see what is beneath that, all that artificialness or that superficialness which is there, all that superficiality, then you cannot even recognize that person from what she has been appearing online. And that is why you see that there are so many cases of people going into depression, taking their own lives, committing suicides. And these are not just people who are adults, they are not 19 years and above. Depression is ruling the society today, and we are getting depressed because we are getting more and more dependent on these machines. We are getting more and more dependent on likes. Now, what is happening across our Muslim world, our Shia world? I don't know how many of us talk about these things. See, we are nowadays, when you have all these contests, what happens in those contests? People are supposed to send in their own videos of their children reciting Nauha or Manqabat, or maybe giving a speech. And then you are supposed to collect all these people who should vote for you, who should give you likes, who should comment over you, you should have these many views. So they are not even judging by themselves. Now they have made other viewers judges, and those viewers are who? Your friends. You have to gather them. You're literally begging people, please like, please share, please comment, because you want that, you want to be appreciated. You want that appreciation. So people are slowly turning materialistic. People are slowly turning. It's. I just want to say that this is not about not taking part in contests and not doing that. But where is this technology in India leading us to? Where are we going with all these things? Where is this media leading us to? Where are we going with all these things when we are talking within ourselves, within our own community? We are making people come to us to like our statuses, to like our things, and we are doing it for the people, and nothing is remaining for Allah. We need role models, and we are not short of models. I'm just completing my majlis, coming towards the end of my majlis. We need role models. We are not short of role models, and yet we see that today Who are we looking up to as role models? If our children are really young, if the girls are really young, they are 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, maybe 10 years old, then the media or this world is providing us with role models like Disney princesses. So you have this movie called Frozen, and all these young children, these young girls are looking up to these princesses, and then they are thinking, okay, like this is the reality. They are giving us a world which is fake, which is virtual, but we are looking up to them, to the Disney princess. This is what they are doing. This is what people want us to do. They want us to move away from our faith. Why do you think all these attacks are happening on our religion? Why do you think all these attacks are happening against Muslims? Why are muhajjabas always under attack? Why people with hijab, with just, just that stole on their heads, just a scarf on their heads, why are they always being attacked and being thought of as terrorists or fundamentalists? Or why do these governments fear so much? Like France is banning the niqab. France is banning religious symbols. So why are they threatened by us? Because they know that our faith is the one faith that will lead us to hidayah, to guidance. Our faith is the one that will take us to the right path. But slowly they have infiltrated our religion as well, our madhab as well, and slowly they are taking us away from our faith, and we are not even aware of what is happening. There are these attacks that are happening to us. Attacks in the sense, not physical attacks, not mental attacks, but psychological warfare is going on, where they are attacking us through some sort of YouTube videos. So, have you ever noticed this? That when you sometimes start to search on Google, so Google will provide you with responses. That is what you want to search. Or if you or like I have even had people who use Facebook a lot, and they say that when we go to Facebook, then Facebook will notify them of something that they were just thinking. So how did this thought get out into the open? How was Facebook able to cater to you, to your thoughts, and able to tell you what you were thinking right at that moment? How, when you go on YouTube and you're trying to search for videos, so all that information that you are feeding it, that we are feeding, is getting gathered and collected, and then these people are using that sort of information to target us and showing things that may be destructive in the long run. You know that there are these Disney, and then there was this DC comics, because people did not have a role model, so they were providing people role models in the form of Superman or Batman, DC comics, and then Wonder Woman, and then you have this Marvel, which has come up with all sorts of men, Iron Man and Hulk, and I don't know what else. So there are all these sorts of things, and children are looking up, the youth are looking up to these things, to these fictional characters as role models. Should I tell you about a role model? Who are our role models? Who should be our role models? So that we learn how to live this life. We learn to have the correct kind of akhlaq, how to behave with our parents. Today, you see so many children that they are so engrossed in their smartphones or devices, their parents call out to them, and they do not even hear their parents calling out to them. Or if they hear, then they will not answer. Is this the behavior that Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt taught us? When Muawiyah, once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after Muawiyah had apparently become Muslim, so we know that they all became Muslim out of fear. So when he had apparently become Muslim, and this is not just found in our books, it is found in their books, in Sahih Muslim, one of the Sahih Sitta. So Rasulullah once sent a Sahabi of his, a companion of his, to call Muawiyah. And the Sahabi, this companion, he went and he said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has called for you. So please come to him. And he says, I am busy eating right now. Then Rasulullah gets this answer. He sends his companion a second time. Then he goes and says the same thing. He gets the same answer. Rasulullah sends a third time, and Muawiyah gives the answer again. I am busy eating right now. I'll come later when I'm finished. So when this companion goes and gives this answer to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah lifts his hands in dua and he says, "O Allah, may his belly, may his tummy never be satiated." And history is witness to this fact that Muawiyah would keep on eating, and he would never be sated. He would never feel full. He would never be satiated. You see, this is Rasul who has done bad-dua. He has lifted in his hands in bad-dua. Now, of course, the Banu Umayyah al-Mal'un, everything, but I'm just giving you one small instance from the life of Rasulullah. Our parents have the status where Allah has said, worship me, do not associate anyone with me, and be kind to your parents. Be kind to your parents. And today we are behaving in such a fashion where if our mother is calling out to us, you know the importance of a mother. You keep on hearing the importance of a mother in so many majalis. Rasulullah said the importance of mother is 3 times that of the father, and our mother is the one who suffers the most for us. And then she keeps on calling us. Then we say, "Mom, I'm doing this. Mom, I'm come later." And your mom says, "Okay, go to the store and fetch this," or go inside the house itself. She goes and, "Okay, go and get these things." And we say, "Mom, I'll get this later." "Yes, Mom, I'm coming," and things like that. While we have been told that if you're offering a mustahab prayer, no mustahab prayer. Mustahab is anything other than those 5 daily prayers that you do. So if you are doing like a salat of shukr and your mother calls out to you, you're supposed to leave that prayer right then. No waiting for the prayer to finish. Allah does not even like that. You are praying for Allah, but for a mustahab, a sunnah thing, Allah does not like that you make your mother wait. So akhlaq is of importance. These machines will go away. These machines will perish. And these machines will destroy us. When we talk about role models, there's this one instance where there was a 13-year-old boy. He once came to meet the president of Iran, President Khamenei. And the Ayatollah Khamenei. So he came to meet Ayatollah Khamenei, not the president. And when he came outside, he was standing outside his office, and the Ayatollah Khamenei, he could hear that there was some sort of scuffle or skirmish going on outside, and he called his security inside. He said, "What is going on outside?" And the security says that there is this youth, there is this boy, and he is insisting that he wants to see you. And now he started insisting that he wants to meet you in person. He does not just want to see you from afar, but he wants to meet you in person. So he says that, "I have time, let him in." This boy goes and he says, "Where are you from?" He says that, "I am from a remote corner of Iran. I am from the north of Iran, and I have come to meet you. I wanted to meet you because I have an issue that I want to talk to you about." Imagine, it was a child, a 13-year-old child, and he said that, "I want to meet the Ayatollah because I have an issue. I have a problem that only this Ayatollah can resolve, and I have to meet him." He's just like the rest of you, the rest of you children who are listening to this majlis. So this Ayatollah says, "What is it?" He says that, "I have come from afar. I have traveled on several buses just in order to meet you. And my issue is that in Majlis, we hear the Masayib of Qasim alayhi salam." And this person, he was from the remote area of Iran. So he says that we hear the Masayib of Qasim alayhi salam, and we hear that he was just 13 years old. But on the day of Ashura, we hear that he went to his uncle and he sought permission of his uncle. And then finally, his uncle Imam al Husain alayhi salam gave him permission to go fight in the battlefield. We hear of this in the Masayib. Now, what I want to ask is that there is a lot of war that is going on in our area. So why am I not being allowed to go into battle, to go into war and fight on behalf of the Muslims? Either give me permission give us all, the 13-year-olds, the 14-year-olds, the youth who are there, either give us permission to go to war and fight with these infidels, the mushrikeen who are trying to destroy us, or stop reciting the Masayib of Qasim alayhi salam. He took Qasim alayhi salam as his role model. That if I have to give my life in the way of Islam to defend my Imam, then I will do it. And he took Hazrat Qasim as a role model for himself. Who are our role models today? All the wrong kind of people. All these celebrities are role models. Maybe for the youth, it is Sushant Singh, the late Sushant Singh. We are so engrossed in news about Sushant Singh and all this drug cartel and what is going on in the Hindi film industry and all these things that we neglect that we have such beautiful role models in front of us. We are taking, I have heard so many of my younger sisters looking up to Zayn Malik. Who is Zayn Malik? He left Islam 2 to 3 years back. He said, I no longer identify with the Islamic beliefs. We are looking up to these people as role models. Do we not have enough role models amongst us? Are the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam not sufficient for us? Because this is a sister's majlis. Is Bibi Sakina, who was just 3.5 years old in Karbala, is she not enough of a role model for us? Who was Bibi Sakina? Who was Bibi Sakina? Bibi Sakina was the toddler, the youngest child of Imam al-Husain, who he took with himself to Karbala. You all know he left his other daughter, Fatemah al-Sughra, in Medina, but he took Bibi Sakina with himself. Sakina कौन थी? سکینہ وہ تھی جس کے لیے امام حسین فرمایا کرتے تھے کہ سکینہ وہ ہے جو میرے دل کا چین ہے، جو میرا سکون ہے، اور میں اس کے دل کا چین ہوں اور میں اس کا سکون ہوں. بی بی سکینہ جس کو امام حسین نے اپنی دعاؤں میں مانگا تھا. کس طرح سے دعاؤں میں مانگا تھا آپ جانتے ہیں؟ بی بی سکینہ وہ تھی اپنے بابا سے کتنی محبت کرتی تھی، کتنی زیادہ شدید محبت کرتی تھی. اس کو صرف اپنے بابا کے سینے پر چین آیا کرتا تھا، صرف اپنے بابا کے سینے پر سویا کرتی تھی. اور امام اس سے اتنی محبت کیوں کرتے تھے؟ اس لیے کہ وہ ایک آئیڈیل چائلڈ تھی. وہ اپنے بابا کو جو رسپیکٹ دینی چاہیے، جو احترام دینا چاہیے، بی بی سکینہ جانتی تھی یہ میرے بابا ہے، صرف بابا نہیں ہے، اللہ کی حجت ہے، اللہ کی امام، اللہ کے بھیجے ہوئے امام ہے. بی بی سکینہ کبھی اپنے بابا کو پریشان نہیں کرتی تھی. جب عصر عاشور آئی اور امام حسین جو ہے تنہا رہ گئے تھے، اس وقت ہم دیکھتے ہیں کہ ایک مرتبہ امام حسین نے تمام اپنے خانوادے کو خدا حافظ کہا، اور خانوادے کو خدا حافظ کرنے کے بعد جب ایک مرتبہ اپنے خیمے سے باہر آئے، اپنے ذوالجناح پر سوار ہوئے، تو ذوالجناح آگے نہیں بڑھتا تھا. ایک مرتبہ جو ہے ذوالجناح نے اپنی نظروں کو اپنے سموں کی طرف جھکایا اور اپنے بابا جیسے بتانا چاہتا ہو، اے میرے مولا ذرا میرے سموں کی طرف نظر کیجیے. امام سمجھ گئے. امام نے جیسے ہی سموں کی طرف نظر کی، کیا دیکھا کہ ایک چھوٹی سی بچی ہے، امام کی لاڈلی ہے، جو سموں سے لپٹی ہوئی فریاد کر رہی ہے. بی بی کیا فریاد کر رہی تھی؟ امام حسین زمین پر آئے، ایک مرتبہ بچی کو اپنی گود میں لیا، اور گود میں لینے کے بعد فرماتے ہیں، اے میری لال سکینہ مجھے اجازت دے دو، مجھے جانے دو سکینہ. سکینہ کہتی ہے، بابا جو بھی مقتل میں گیا وہ واپس نہیں آیا. اس کی خون میں ڈوبی ہوئی لاش آئی. میرے چچا عباس مقتل میں گئے تھے، ان کا خون میں ڈوبا ہوا عالم آیا، لیکن وہ واپس نہیں آئے، امو واپس نہیں آئے. تو امام فرماتے ہیں، اے سکینہ میں نے تمہیں بہت مرادوں سے مانگا تھا، میں نے اپنی دعاؤں میں تمہیں مانگا تھا۔ اے سکینہ میں نے تمہیں نماز شب میں مانگا تھا۔ سکینہ کہتی ہے بابا اگر اتنی مشقتوں سے مانگا تھا مجھے چھوڑ کر کیوں جاتے ہیں بابا؟ امام فرماتے ہیں اے سکینہ اس لیے کہ جب پروردگار نے مجھے تمہیں عطا کیا تھا تو مجھ سے سوال کیا تھا اے حسین کیسے پتا چلے گا کہ تم مجھ سے زیادہ محبت کرتے ہو یا اپنی اس بچی سے زیادہ محبت کرتے ہو؟ امام فرماتے ہیں کہ اس وقت میں نے پروردگار سے جب تمہیں مانگا تھا تو یہ دعا کی تھی اے پروردگار مجھے ایک ایسی بیٹی عطا فرما جو بالکل میری اماں جیسی ہو، اور جیسے اماں میرے نانا سے محبت کرتی ہوں وہ مجھ سے ویسی ہی محبت کرے، اور جیسے نانا اماں سے محبت کرتے تھے میں بھی اس سے ویسی ہی محبت کروں۔ جب خدا نے مجھ سے سوال کیا تو میں نے جواب دیا تھا اے پروردگار جب 10 محرم 61 ہجری کو میں تیری آواز پر لبیک کہوں گا اور اپنی اس 4 سالہ لاڈلی کو جنگلوں میں شمر کے تماچے کھانے کے لیے چھوڑ جاؤں گا تب میری محبت کا امتحان لے لینا۔ عزاداران محترم، یہ ایام سکینہ کہلاتے ہیں۔ یہ وہ بچی جو اپنے باپ کے بعد کبھی سو نہ سکی، کبھی جب بھی بابا کو پکارتی جب بھی چچا کو پکارتی تو کبھی رخسار پر تماچے مارے جاتے، کبھی تازیانے پشت پر مارے جاتے۔ ارے جس بچی نے اپنے باپ کے کٹے ہوئے سر کو دیکھا ہو، تیروں کے زخم اور چھلنی بدن کو دیکھا ہو، اسے نیند کیسے آتی؟ یہ بچی سو نہ پاتی تھی، لیکن ہائے مقدر ایک وہ رات آئی جب یہ بچی سوئی ہوئی تھی، آدھی رات میں اچانک اٹھ بیٹھی اور فریاد کرنے لگی ارے پھوپھی اماں اینا بھی میرے بابا کہاں ہیں؟ میرے بابا آئے تھے، انہوں نے مجھ سے کہا تھا اے سکینہ میں بہت اداس ہوں، سکینہ میرے پاس آ جاؤ سکینہ۔ بچی کہتی ہے پھوپھی اماں میرے بابا کو لا دو۔ بیبیوں نے ایک مرتبہ رونا شروع کیا، شام کا قید خانہ حسین کے عزا خانے میں تبدیل ہو گیا۔ ارے یزید کی نیند میں خلل پڑا۔ ایک مرتبہ کہا کہ یہ کیسا خلل ہے، بتایا گیا بچی اپنے باپ کو یاد کرتی ہے۔ مرتبہ کہتا ہے جاؤ اس تشت کو لے جاؤ جس میں اس کے باپ کا کٹا ہوا سر رکھا ہے۔ سر قید خانے میں آیا، سر زندان شام میں آیا۔ کوئی بیٹی جو اپنی باپ کو ترستی رہے اور اچانک باپ کا کٹا ہوا سر اسے ملے تو بچی مر نہیں جائے گی۔ آنکھ کھولی، سینے پہ سر کو دیکھا۔ مرتبہ زندان میں زلزلہ آیا جب سکینہ نے کہا بابا اپنا اپنا مقدر ہے بابا، کبھی میں آپ کے سینے پر سویا کرتی تھی، آج آپ میرے سینے پر ہے بابا، بابا آنکھیں کھولو بابا۔ پھر اس کے بعد فریاد کرنے لگی بابا آپ کی داڑھی پر خون سے خضاب کس نے کیا بابا، بابا اس چھوٹی سی عمر میں مجھے کس نے یتیم کیا بابا۔ اور پھر وہ یاد کرتی بابا عید والے دن جو اپنے گوہر مجھے پہنائے تھے وہ شمر ملعون میرے کانوں سے کھینچ کر لے گیا بابا، بابا میرے کانوں سے لہو بہتا رہا۔ ایک مرتبہ کہتی ہے ہائے میرے غریب بابا، میرے مظلوم بابا، میرے بے کفن بابا، بابا آپ نے کہا تھا نا کہ پیاس کی شکایت نہ کرنا سکینہ، بابا اتنے میلوں کا میں نے سفر کیا، سکینہ نے پانی نہیں مانگا، بابا تماچے لگے میں نے شکایت نہیں کی، تازیانے مارے گئے میں نے شکایت نہیں کی بابا، بابا مجھے اکیلے اونٹ کی ننگی پشت پر باندھ دیا گیا بابا، بابا میں نے شکایت نہیں کی۔ لیکن حسین نے آنکھیں نہ کھولی. اب بی بی نے آخری جملہ کہا, بابا اکبر کا واسطہ, بابا بھیا اکبر کا واسطہ, اتنی زندگی میں دیکھا ہے آپ نے کبھی کہ کوئی 4 سالہ بچے کے بال سفید ہو گئے ہوں اور اس کی کمر جھک گئی ہو؟ اچانک ایک خاموشی طاری ہوئی, بچی خاموش ہوئی, زمین پر گری, سجاد آگے بڑھے, بچی کی نبض کو پہچانا, انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون. ارے اس قید خانے میں کوہرام برپا ہوا, ہر بی بی کہتی ہائے سکینہ, ہائے سکینہ, لیکن ایک بی بی رباب تھی, دیواروں سے ٹکراتی اور کہتی واہ قسمتا, واہ غربتا, الا لعنت اللہ علی القوم الظالمین. انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون. بار الہ تجھے تیرے پاک اور قدوس ناموں کا واسطہ, تجھے تیرے اسم اعظم کا واسطہ, تیرے خاص نام اللہ کا واسطہ. پروردگار تجھے تیرے حبیب اور ان کے اہل بیت اطہار کا واسطہ, تجھے فاطمۃ الزہرا ان کے لٹے ہوئے گلشن کا واسطہ, بی بی سکینہ کا واسطہ. پروردگار اپنی آخری حجت کے ظہور میں تعجیل فرما اور ان کے ذریعے سے تمام مظلومین کا, خصوصاً ان کے جد اور جدہ کے ناحق بہائے گئے خون کا انتقام لینا نصیب فرما. بار الہ اس غیبت کے دور میں تمام ہم و غم و آلام کو وقت کے امام سے درگزر فرما. اس غیبت کے دور میں ہم سب کو ایمان پر ثابت قدم رہنے کی توفیق عطا فرما. پروردگار ہم سب کو اس دنیا میں اور آخرت میں نمایاں کامیابی اور کامرانی عطا فرما. بار الہ ہم سب کو, خصوصاً آج کے ان بچوں کو اور جوانوں کو, ہدایت کی راہ پر گامزن فرما, صراط مستقیم پر چلنے کی توفیق عطا فرما. ہم سے جو بھی گناہ سرزد ہوئے ہیں اشک اعضاء کے طفیل میں پروردگار ہمارے گناہوں کی مغفرت فرما. ہم نے جو مجالسیں رکھی جا رہی ہیں اور جو اعمال اور عبادتیں ناقص ہیں, معیوب ہیں پروردگار, لیکن اپنی بارگاہ میں شرف قبولیت عنایت فرما. بار الہ اس کووڈ کی وبا کو ہم سے دور کر کے ہم سب کو اپنے حفظ و امان میں رکھنا, اور جلد از جلد جو راستے ہم پر بند ہو چکے ہیں حج و زیارات معصومین کے, ان تمام راستوں کو کھول دے تاکہ دوبارہ سے ہم سید الشہداء کی قبر مبارک پر ان کی زیارت کے لیے حاضر ہو سکیں اور شرف حاصل کر سکیں. پروردگار ہم سب کو وقت کے امام کے چہرے اقدس کی زیارت نصیب فرما. ہم سب کو ان کے منتظرین میں, ان کے چاہنے والوں میں, حتیٰ کہ ان کی کنیزوں میں جگہ عطا فرما. بار الہ جو بھی رزق کے لیے پریشان حال ہیں ان سب کو حلال وسیع اور طیب رزق عطا فرما. پروردگار جو بھی اپنے دل میں جو بھی مراد لیے ہوئے ہے اور ان مجلسوں میں شرکت کر رہا ہے, تو سید الشہداء کا واسطہ ان کی دلی مراد کو پورا فرما, اور ہم سب کو اس دنیا میں اور آخرت میں نمایاں کامیابی اور کامرانی عطا فرما. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. سورة الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد
اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان اللعین الرجیم، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ پروردگار، اس سورہ فاتحہ کا ثواب ہم نذرائن عقیدت پیش کرتے ہیں چہار معصومین شہدائے کربلا، اسیران کربلا کو، اور ان کے توسل سے خصوصاً شہزادی سکینہ سلام اللہ علیہا اور ان کے توسل سے جو بھی ثواب حاصل ہوا اس سے کل مومنین والمومنات کی روحوں کو بخشو، خصوصاً بچو بھائی پرشوتم، خدیجہ بائی بنتے حسین علی، شیر علی بائی ورتیجی، فضہ بانو بنتے نارنگ بھائی، مہر النساء بنتے بچو بھائی، غلام عباس بچو بھائی پرشوتم، حسین علی بچو بھائی پرشوتم، رمضان فضہ، حسین علی شریف، معصوم علی، قاسم علی مرچنٹ، امیر علی، رجب علی، اور مرحومین پرشوتم فیملی اور ورتیجی فیملی کے مرحومین اور حاضرین محفل اور بانیان محفل کے کل مرحومین کی روح کو بخشو یا اللہ۔ ان تمام مرحومین کی مغفرت فرما، ان تمام مرحومین کی کوئی واجبات باقی رہ گئے ہو تو انہیں عفو فرما۔ اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجہ۔
Lady Zainab, Lady Zainab, Lady Zainab, Lady Zainab, strongest of mothers, Zainab, Lady Zainab, Lady Zainab, stood by us just like a brother, stood by us just like a brother, offering like Hanu Adam, offering like Hanu Adam, yes, for children, Zainul Abid, yes, for children, Zainul Abid, Lady Zainab, Lady Zainab, Lady Zainab, Lady Zainab, strongest of mothers, Zainab, Lady Zainab, Lady Zainab, the moon of Muharram has come, the moon of Muharram has come, and of the glorious and the skies have begun. The clouds in the sky have begun. The clouds are covered in love. The clouds are covered in love. Angels are mourning as one. Angels are mourning as one. The moon of Muharram has come. The moon of Muharram has come. The heart of the bystanders, the heart of the bystanders, the deeds of the day are gone, the deeds of the day are gone. Husain will lose his son. Husain will lose his son. Yazid will kill everyone. Yazid will kill everyone. Children will be under the sun. Children will be under the sun. The moon of the sun. The moon of Muharram. Ya Sakina. Ya Sakina. Ya Sakina. Ya Sakina. Ya Sakina.
صلوات بر محمد، اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد۔ اے باد صبا جا کے یہ امو کو بتانا، پیاسی ہے سکینہ۔ اے باد صبا جا کے یہ امو کو بتانا، پیاسی ہے سکینہ۔ اس چھوٹے سے سن میں یہ ستم میں نے اٹھائے، اللہ کسی کو نہ یتیم ایسا بنائے، خود اپنے لہو میں کوئی بچی نہ نہائے، میں تم کو بلاتی رہی تم بھی تو نہ آئے،
میں بن گئی بعد عصر لعینوں کا نشانہ، پیاسی ہے سکینہ، اے باد صبا جا کے یہ اموں کو بتانا، پیاسی ہے سکینہ۔ ایک راستے میں ہم سب کے گلے باندھ کے ادا کرتے ہوئے تشریر چلے جانب کوفہ، اور اس پہ مصیبت یہ کہ قد چھوٹا تھا میرا، اٹھتی تھی جو پھپھیا تو گلا کھچتا تھا میرا، گردن کا میرے زخم چچا دیکھنے آنا، پیاسی ہے سکینہ، اے باد صبا جا کے یہ اموں کو بتانا، پیاسی ہے سکینہ۔ صلوات بائی محمد۔
اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد۔ بہت رو چکی ہے سکینہ، اللہ بہت رو چکی ہے سکینہ، بہت رو چکی ہے سکینہ، اللہ بہت رو چکی ہے سکینہ، سفر میں یہ کوئی نہ زندہ میں آ کر اجالا کیا ہے یہاں دل جلا کر، بدر سے جو بچھڑی ہے عاشور کو سکون پا سکی پھر رو چکی ہے سکینہ، اللہ بہت رو چکی ہے سکینہ، میرا دشت میں جب کہ بابا کا لاشا لپٹ کے پدر سے کیا خوب گریا، وہاں پہنچی زینب تو شہ نے کہا سلا دو اسے جا کے بہنا، بہت رو چکی ہے سکینہ، اللہ بہت رو چکی ہے سکینہ، رسن دے گئی ہے نشانی گلے پر، ہے پیشانی زخمی جو کھائے تھے پتھر، نشاں ہے تماچوں کے رخسار پر، مصائب سے زخمی ہے سینہ، بہت رو چکی ہے سکینہ، اللہ بہت رو چکی ہے سکینہ، اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد
یتیم بابا جانم، بابا جانم، بابا جانم، بابا جانم، قافلہ جب سوئے زندان چلا، قافلہ جب سوئے سینے گلا، ہائے میری یتیمی ہائے میری غریبی ہائے میری یتیمی ہائے میری غریبی بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم منوی قامت غم ای بابا منوی رحمت غم ای بابا کشبدی که بملی که چطور وارد کوپ شدم ای بابا افویزن یتیمی افویزن غریبی افویزن یتیمی افویزن غریبی بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم ایک بار تو آنکھیں کھولو کدی بیٹی کی حالت دیکھو بابا ایک بار سکینہ کہہ دو بولو بابا میرے کچھ تو بولو ہائے میری یتیمی ہائے میری غریبی ہائے میری یتیمی ہائے میری غریبی بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم سردمن خیلی سوت سردمن دور استشم تو تشم امو دائم عشان كنت فردمت افويزن يتيمي افويزن غريبي افويزن يتيمي افويزن غريبي بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا پانی کی مجھے آس نہیں میرا سب کام میرا عباس نہیں اشک پی لوں گی مجھے پیاس نہیں ہم کو یہ کرب بلا راز نہیں ہائے میری یتیمی ہائے میری غریبی ہائے میری یتیمی ہائے میری غریبی بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا ایک بار سگا دو بابا اپنے نزدیک بلا لو بابا ہائے میری یتیمی ہائے میری غریبی ہائے میری یتیمی ہائے میری غریبی بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم بابا جانم Husain, 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 Husain. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجہم. السلام علیکم یا ابا عبداللہ، السلام علیکم یا ابن رسول اللہ، السلام علیکم یا ابن امیر المؤمنین وابن سید الوسین، السلام علیکم یا ابن فاطمة الزہرا سیدۃ النساء العالمین، السلام علیکم یا ابن خدیجۃ الکبریٰ ام المؤمنین والمؤمنات ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. آقائے غریبان، مولائے بے کسان، ضامنان یتیمان، بادشاہ خراسان، السلام علیکم یا غریب الغرباء، السلام علیکم یا معین الضعفاء والفقراء، یا سلطان یا ابا الحسن یا علی ابن موسی رضا، روحی و جسمی لک الفدا، کن شفیعنا شفیع والدینا فی یوم الجزا. السلام علیکم یا اخت کا معصومہ ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. السلام علیکم یا صاحب العصر والزمان، الامان 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 من فتنة الزمان. السلام علیکم یا شریک القرآن، السلام علیکم یا امامنا امام انس والجان، اجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسهل اللہ تعالی مخرجک وظہورک. السلام علی الحسین وعلی علی ابن الحسین وعلى أولاد الحسین وعلى أصحاب الحسین. السلام علیکم یا تمام اسیران کربلا، خصوصاً سکینہ بنت الحسین علیہ السلام. اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل دشمنان اہل بیت لعنت بے شمار لعنت. ایک نعرہ حیدری یا علی.